Okay, on the bench today we have a Shark corded stick vacuum. I've actually worked on this one previously. It was one where problem with the switch, where the small plastic piece that pushes the little tactile switch inside had broken off, and managed to get that going again just by using a bit of blue tack, and it was still going strong. The problem I had wasn't actually with this unit. That's the board for the one that that's having the issue. It's now up and running using the board that come from this machine. This was kind of set aside as a spares machine anyway, because the motor was starting to struggle. You could hear it as if it was losing power ever so slightly. It was still working, it was still picking up, there was suction there. But we replaced it and set it aside. And glad I did, because the other machine started playing up, and I can show you that once I put this board into this one. I can show you what the problem is. The main reason for doing the video was just in case anyone else had a similar issue. Then they'd have an idea of what's wrong, and unfortunately there doesn't seem to be a way of repairing it. It's a case of replacing the board. I was just fortunate enough that I had a machine sitting here. I went over this board front and back, tested all the components, the relay, all the capacitors, resistors, basically everything that I could test was tested, and it's looking very much like it's a little microprocessor that's the issue. And although you could buy the chip, you would then have to program it. Now I don't have the facilities to do that myself, and I don't know whether the code that's programmed on would be write protected or not. No idea. So yeah, basically I had to just swap the boards straight over. But what I'll do is I'm going to put this back together, fit it back into here. That'll also let you see how this board can be removed. Because the problem with the switch could possibly also be solved by putting another one in that has a higher top, so the switch contact would sit higher, and then it would probably make direct contact with that when pressed. If it was sitting slightly higher than the original is. So that'd be another possible fix for the button issue. Right, so let's get started and we'll get this soldered back into place. Basically 4 wires. I did take a picture of where they come from, but in actual fact, because they're all varied lengths, it actually makes it pretty easy. There's only really one place they can go for it to sit in properly. So we'll start with this brown one down here, down by the fuse, and we'll get that soldered in. That's that one, and the yellow one next. sure how well you're going to see this. Blue. Okay, there and solid. And finally the black one on the opposite side. Okay, that's it. Sits in there. Now this piece goes over the top. Pop this old blue tack out just now. Previous switch repair. When you're disassembling this, you have you have the two screws that are visible once you take the buttons off, but you also have another two screws that sit underneath this part here, and it just sticks on there. You don't have to use any heat, it's the spudging tool, and just gently lever it off. And you have another two screws sitting there. So I'll get these back in. Oh, turn the lights off instead of on here. That should be a bit better. And that just pops back on. It's a fairly snug fit, plus it's still got plenty of tackiness left. So that's that. Right, let's together off for me. Demonstrate what the issue is. Has to be connected to this bit. And one thing I will say as well, I thought possibly it may have been one of the sensors in this section that was causing the problem, but that's kind of eliminated because basically the only thing that was changed was the board, and the other one's running perfectly. No problems with it at all. Right, so hoping I can fit this underneath so that you can see. Zoom out, that's as far out as I can go. Right. If I plug it in. If we press the that's the problem, I didn't touch that button again, that automatically switched itself off. We're not getting any kind of light on the bottom part. If however, that sounds about to be horrific. If I switch it on and I quickly press that button, which activates it gives it more power. Basically, and the brushes turn harder. It's for carpet, whereas the first setting's for flat flooring, laminate and such. Right, so let's see if we can demonstrate this. I'll try and bring that back. See, it comes on and stays on if, like I say, I press the power button, then quickly press the other button. It'll come on and it'll vacuum on that power setting perfectly fine. If I turn it on and then press that and it's working, if I try and turn off the higher setting, it just cuts out. And for me, it can only be the processor. There must be some corruption in the programming for it to be acting like that. So I'll just demonstrate that again. Excuse the noise. The instant that I press that button, the whole thing just switches off. So I don't think there's anything I'm going to be able to do to correct that. I'll just unplug this. You can get the chips themselves, but there's not going to be any programming written into them for what that needs. So basically replacement board and you'll be back up and running. So you'd have to find one that had a different fault and just take the board out, stick a new one in. So yeah, that's basically that. I wish I'd filmed the whole thing from the start, but I wanted to get the vacuum up and running because it's used daily. So I didn't want to be faffing around trying to record what I was doing. That would have just slowed me up a bit. So right, if you found this video enjoyable or useful in any way, then please click the thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, then subscribe to the channel. If you've had this experience with this before, and I'm completely wrong and it's not the microprocessor, then please leave a comment down below, and I may revisit it based on that. Right, but thanks very much for watching. Cheers.